they bend.
Yeah. Hello. Okay, so we are on the air. Yes, there we are. A little blurry. No, it's just my eyes. Anyways, hello everybody and welcome. Hi Dana and Donna and Laura and Fidel and Marilyn. And I see Dana and I see Donna. Romper, bumper, stomper, boo. Tell me, do. Did all my friends have fun at play? Jesus, funny. I still remember that after.
I don't remember that. I never heard that.
Well, you probably weren't very civilized. You didn't watch Romper Room.
No, I never watched that.
Well, I never really watched that much either. I was more Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, I didn't really. I think I watched a little bit of Captain Kangaroo. I can't remember that much about it. But
Hi,
then
Patsy.
I remember watching.
We're a little scratchy sounding, she says. That may be because I've got my printers going behind me. I'll move this up a little bit more. I have a new device on my microphone.
It's a strainer.
If you can see it right there. Yeah, it's a strainer. It's supposed to give you clearer sound. I don't like it being in the shot though here. Move it over. Okay, there we go. So, hi Barb. And hi Andy. We're just waiting for a few more people. Hi Suzanne. And we'll just
actually, the printers would probably come through as sounding scratchy.
Because I have all three of them going right now, and they are making a fair amount of noise. Although the microphone is supposed to filter out those kind of noises. So Patsy says it sounds a little better. Okay, that's good, Patsy. So maybe with the redirecting it. Dana says, only once did Romper Room say my name. No. Yeah, I know. I used to sit there and wait to see if you'd hear your name or not, and I don't remember if I ever did, but I was more Captain Kangaroo.
I was not the
Jolly Green Giant?
No, Friendly Giant.
Friendly Giant. Yeah, see, I didn't watch that either. But when these shows were on, we lived down in Norwood, and we only got one station, and they didn't play those shows on that particular station. So,
well, I didn't really see a lot of morning TV because my mother didn't let me get up.
No, because you're not morning people.
No, my mother was not a morning person. I would try and get up when I was a little kid early, and then my mother would send me back to bed because she didn't want to get up.
Yeah. Yes, Patsy, my little scary girl is still twirling, but I will be using those platforms when I put up my Christmas decoration. Yeah, well, it might have been just a temporary thing there, Dana. Hi, Glenna. Never heard my name. Yeah, I know. They always seem to pick the most popular names on there. Love the Friendly Giant. Yeah. And I'll call Rusty the Rooster, and there's some guy with his hand up that buzzard's bum. No wonder Roosty talked so high. And Jerome Giraffe. Yeah. And then there was that French show, but I never watched that either.
Chez Helene?
Chez Helene with Susie the Mouse or something.
I think I saw little bits and pieces of it. They spoke too much French for me.
Well, the idea was so you could learn French on TV. My sister used to watch that, but I was just old enough that I was at school by then and everything, wasn't really home to see all those shows then. But anyways, I don't know how we got talking about this, but we did. But that's fine. So let's get right into things. What's been going on this week? Well, continuing story of estate settling. So I had a couple of meetings this week. I went to the bank, and that took forever. And so now I no longer have access to my mother's accounts. They have closed those accounts and created a new account that there's some more papers or something I'm supposed to get at some point to sign. And then, so they call it, an estate account. And the woman that was looking after us, I guess she knew what she was doing. She was...
You know what really amazes me is when you do these transactions at a bank, it's like they go through a million forms to fill out or something that you'd think they'd have a lot of that information. They could just sort of plug it in and
Yeah, I know. I don't know what she was typing, but it was like a lot on the computer. She's sitting there.
It was sort of like going to, get onto an airline and you're...
Yeah.
They're going like this. They're going like this.
And then she'd stop and she'd ask me weird questions. Well, I guess they weren't weird, but she was looking at things. Just, so your mother, where did your mother live? And I said, well, she was in a nursing home. And that was all on the forms that I gave her.
She's trying to figure out why she had an account in
Bowmanville.
Right.
Yeah. And she said, well, did she live? I said, she lived here in Bowmanville. And I said, so I gave her the whole story and the rundown. And then she wanted to know where I live. But this was all stuff that was sort of like she was making conversation when she was asking those, because meanwhile she's still typing away and staring at a computer screen.
I think there's sort of a sly way of figuring out
whether I'm trying to embezzle somebody.
Yeah, you know, like just to make sure that this is actually
well, I brought in a death
valid
certificate.
Transaction. Yeah, but you never know.
And I brought in a will because she had to have that. And then
I'm sure they've seen all kinds of weird things come through.
Probably. But then she questioned me about why my sister didn't want to be an executor, because my sister was put on as a co-executor with me back when my father passed away and my mother updated her will. The lawyer kind of recommended it. I didn't think it was a good idea at the time, only because then it takes, both of us would have to sign for anything. And although my sister doesn't live that far away, she doesn't live like just down the street. And going back and forth all the time to where she lives to get her to sign something and whatnot. Plus, she didn't want to be a co-executor. So,
plus maybe she's thinking you're trying to pull a fast one because you came in with me.
Oh, maybe she had some prejudice against gay people.
Well, no, there's always that possibility. But then there's the thing that I'm thinking more like we're ganging up on your sister
No, well, we're not. My sister was more than happy not to have to do it. Yeah. So I had this thing the lawyer gave me that my sister had to sign, and there was copies of it made, and the lawyer has them, and then I had to take a copy to the bank. And so I had to explain to her that, this happened 7 years ago. My father passed away. The lawyer recommended at the time, but my sister would rather not. And I told her up front, I said, and it's more convenient if only one of us has to sign for anything instead of two of us. So she carried on typing away. Here we go. Computer says no, whatnot. And so I'm still not absolutely clear as to, what's happening. You go into these banks, you go into these lawyers, and sure, they know what they're talking about and what they're doing, but they do not explain things very clearly. And even when you ask questions, they just kind of toss it off like, you should know this. This is elementary stuff here. And maybe it's the teacher in me, but I always believe in explaining things, step by step, so people know about. Always assume somebody doesn't know as much as yourself when it comes to this kind of thing.
That's why I always liked Dave Thomas for the.
Yeah, he was always very good.
He was always very good at explaining things. See, the other thing, the other reason he may have put your sister as co-executor on the will was that if you drop dead, she would automatically become.
Yeah, well, he actually said that at the time too. So yeah. Hi Janice. Hi Marlene. So I don't know, but anyways, we got that all done. And as I said, I think there's more paperwork that I have to sign or something that's supposed to come to me from the bank. So right now her accounts are locked, and which I knew they would be. So no big deal really. The only thing is, it doesn't make it convenient if I have to write a check or anything, or have to. I'm not writing checks on this new account. Eventually, it'll just be drafts. But there isn't much I have to pay for now, because I kind of paid for all that before the accounts got locked up, like her funeral and all that kind of stuff.
Did you pay for the headstone stuff yet?
No, that won't come until the spring. So they'll bill me for that in the spring, because they can't do it till the spring. That's what they told me. So that was the other thing. We had a meeting with the lawyer just to sign the probate papers and make sure that they got the probate money, like the tax money or whatever, that has to go to the Minister of Finance. And so the lawyer had given me a letter to take to the bank to instruct them to give me a draft for $3,495 off my mother's account to pay for that. And then I signed other papers that saying, yes, I know that the lawyer's going to be charging me $3,000 plus any other court fees and stuff like that at some point in time. Yes, I know that too. So, these lawyers, really? Good job. Should have been a lawyer. Really should have. Because that young guy that came in to sign the papers, he kind of didn't know what he was supposed to do. He knew he had papers to sign, but he didn't know if he had to give me copies of this or copies of that or whatever. Didn't leave me with a good feeling out of it all. And he was in a bit of a rush. It was like, well, yeah, it's Friday morning, 10 o'clock. Do you have someplace better to be? Isn't this your job? But I don't know. Lawyers, they've got you by the curlies. It doesn't matter. Barb says, why couldn't the paperwork be printed off for you to sign when you were already at the bank? Well, that's a good question, Barb, because when you make appointments now with Canadian banks, at least we don't have that many different types of Canadian banks, but you phone a central number. You can't make an appointment by phoning your bank directly.
Your branch.
Your branch. You have to phone the central number, and you get somebody who just answers phones, and they make the appointment for you. And you tell them what you want, and then they do what they have to do. So I did. I talked to this guy on the phone. I made the appointment. He knew I was coming in to do a state settlement thing. He told me what I needed to bring. He sent me an email with the name of the person I had the appointment with at the branch bank, when I had the appointment, what time the appointment was, and what I should bring along with me for ID and everything. Okay, fine. So we got to the bank. We're about 15 minutes early from the appointment. And first of all, you walk in and they have central desk, that you go into in the bank if you're doing anything except going up to a teller. I don't even know if they call them tellers anymore. They probably don't call them tellers.
Yeah, they call them something else.
Yeah, they probably, an associate, a financial advisor. I don't know. Anyways, because everybody's got, you go to Walmart and they're not the help. They are sales associates. Sales associates. Yeah, right. Whatever. Domestic engineer.
Vice president of screwing you over.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. So went up to the desk and there's a sign on it. Please go to another desk. But there's only one desk. So I'm looking over thinking, well, am I supposed to go over to a teller for this? But then a guy came out of an office there and he said, can I help you? And I said, yeah. I said, I have an appointment with Kriska.
Yeah, something like
she had a name that it wasn't like Jane or Mary. He says, okay, well, just take a seat over there. They now have like little lounge areas in the middle of the bank, like I love to lounge at a bank, it's real. They should be serving you coffee and a croissant, too. So, within a few minutes, wasn't long.
We were there a little bit early.
Yeah, we were there 15 minutes early.
And it was sort of semi-around lunchtime, so.
Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't. It was 1:45.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's true.
Jeez, were you with me? Do you want to watch? Can you tell time?
Well, I don't know. I think lunchtime's everything.
Yeah, right. Anyway, she ushered in her office. I said, hi, my name is Stephen Bland. This is my husband, Walter. And she ushered us to the office. And the first thing she says to us, do you mind if the door's open? No. Fine by me. Her office was as hot as hell. I says, whoa, you got it nice and warm in here, don't you? And
she must have had a space heater going.
Yeah, she says, yeah, I'm always kind of a little cold. Okay, well, that's fine. She says, is that too hot for you? I said, I'm fine, not to worry about it. I got thinking later, the reason she may have wanted the office door open, and I don't think it was for the heat. That was your theory. I remember years ago that there was this big move on in education that if you were having an interview with a female, whether a teacher or with a female student, or if a female teacher was having, a male and she was interviewing, they recommended to the females anyways that the door should be left open. I guess that was in case somebody tried to assault them or whatever. So,
yeah, she was safe.
Yeah, she was definitely safe with us. I mean, it was not a problem, but whatever. But okay, but I didn't care.
Well, personally, the bank was pretty quiet anyway.
Yeah.
And it didn't really matter whether doors open, and there was no nothing really private that we were.
No, there wasn't really anything there, So, hi, Wendy. But yeah. So, anyways, we got that all looked after and everything. And then on Friday morning, I had a meeting with the lawyers, and that's already told you about that. And we had to fill out all these forms. And boy, you got it. They're real picky about the ID you bring.
Yeah, I heard that from somebody else. They don't take our health card as an ID.
No, they want 2 pieces of ID. One has to have your picture on it. Well, fine, that's my driver's license. So I had that with me. Now, I was carrying my passport around with me in my portfolio stuff, but I didn't. I took it out of my portfolio so it wouldn't get lost anywhere because I didn't think I needed it anymore for anything. And I've got lots of ID on me, but apparently they don't take a health card. But I did have my social insurance card, my social security card, social insurance.
I've heard of people they're not accepting that either.
Well, they took
and
that.
You're kind of out of luck if you.
Yeah, like what other things do you have for picture ID? Like at our age, I know that the younger people they get
social
picture
insurance
ID.
Number isn't a picture ID.
No, but she said that was acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
With it, so fine. I gave them all that. They photocopied.
They said government issued.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have my social insurance card with me. I have a piece of paper that says what it.
Well, I had a birth certificate with me.
Well, I've got
that's government issued.
Well.
So, but whatever. Hi, Teresa. So, anyways, we got all that done, and so now we sit and we wait until all this stuff goes to the court. They're telling me 6 to 8 weeks. I have a feeling Christmas is coming up. It's going to be longer than that because our court system doesn't move anytime fast. And it doesn't matter to me. I already expect it. This is going to take quite a long time. I'd like it over as fast as possible, but these things always take time. So speaking of things taking time, guess what we're doing tomorrow? We're burying my mother. Yeah, well, okay. Where is she right now, you may ask? She's sitting on our bistro table in the rec room in a box. Well, the urn's in a box. I was a little PO'd with the funeral home because we went in. Okay, Mom passed away November the 5th. November the 6th, my sister and I went in. We made all the arrangements for everything and for the cremation. Then they scheduled us at what they call an aftercare meeting where I had to sign papers to say, yeah, she's dead to the government. Like there's this stuff for the Canadian pension plan and old age security and stuff like that my mother got. So I had to sign forms for that, and they look after sending it all to the government and getting that cleared away, which is good. And I knew that from my dad when my dad passed. And so we're all finished up in there, and I said to him at that point in time, since I was expecting to get the urn then. But I didn't. I said, what about my mother's urn? Oh, like shock. He says, oh, I'll be right back. I'll just check on that. And so he comes back and goes, yeah, it's not ready yet. And I went, okay. Backlog, I guess. I don't know. And
they put her on the back burner.
I guess. So yeah, because we didn't buy the fancy box. So anyways, he said, yeah, we'll give you a call when you can come and pick up the urn. I went, okay, fine. Well, in the meantime, I've got it on hold for the cemetery, which is out of town. It's an hour and a half away from us, the family plot. I think I discussed that last week. And, they close at the end of this month because then it's too cold to do any of this stuff. And I really don't want my mother as home decor, as I've said before. I want to get her in the hole. So, so I'm waiting for this call. Finally, on Wednesday morning, was it Wednesday?
Yeah, you called them on Wednesday.
I called them on Wednesday, this past Wednesday.
So that was like a week after
a week after the aftercare, right? And I said, hi, I'm just wondering when I might be able to come and pick up my mother's urn. And they said, oh, yeah, that's ready. I said, well, I was told I'd get a call. Oh, well, so sorry for that. I said, okay, so I'll be over to pick her up today. So over we went, picked her up. They bring her out. I had some more forms I had to sign, right? Because, want to make sure that I wanted her.
Oh, you had to, I guess you were taking delivery of it.
I guess.
And you
now
had
it's
to
my
have
responsibility,
a
I
cremation
guess.
certificate.
Yeah, and all that stuff. So anyways, it's not like people just drop into a funeral home and go, yeah, I'm looking to pick up some ashes.
Who knows? People.
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe people will say, "Oh, I'm going to send my brother over to pick it up." Or
Yeah, maybe.
like
I don't know. Anyways, I got her the chest. She says, "Would you like me to help you carry that out to the car?" Well, the urn's substantial, but maybe she thought I look like a poor little decrepit little old man. I don't know. No, I can manage. Thanks. Anyways,
carry out service.
Well, I know the lid's going to come off it because she picked it up by the lid. Okay, good seal. All right, fine by me. I'm glad it is.
Must be screwed on
or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I got those, and we had a little Amazon box in the back. We didn't want her tipping, in the back of the car, so we had a Amazon box. We dropped the urn in that and put a towel around it to keep it from shifting. And so my mother sits in an Amazon box right now. If we have anything to send back to Amazon, let's be careful, shall we? Yeah, I don't want this anymore.
Saying, how heavy is it?
It's not that heavy. I don't know.
A pound? 2 pounds?
It's only about, maybe 5 pounds at the most. Maybe it's a little heavier than that. I don't know, but it's not, we're not talking here. Like, it's a porcelain or ceramic container. It's not marble. But anyways, I'd go and get her and show you, but I don't think that would be appropriate. And I don't want to. Anyways, but hi, Cindy. So I immediately got on the phone to my little cemetery person who, which is luckily she actually knows my family. Went to school with my dad and with my mom and whatnot, and she knew my grandmother, my father's mother, and all this kind of stuff. And apparently her husband is somehow related to my father. Well, the last name is Rowe, and my great-grandmothers and grandfather were Rose, and my grandmother, before she got married, was a Rowe, their daughter. So it must be through that connection, because I imagine that's her married name, Rowe. But she can't be any spring chicken. If she went to school with my parents, she'd be as old as them.
Mm-hmm. Well, people do have lives.
Yeah, I guess. But, I guess I've been so used to how decrepit my mother got, at 81, that you think other people are the same way. And, well, bully for her. I'm glad she's not. She sounds like a going concern. So anyways, we go over there tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And my sister and my brother-in-law and her kids are coming. I had to coordinate that. Really, I'm sure the kids really want to go. Not. But anyways, all we're doing, we're not having a graveside service or anything like that. There's a whole... And they make these bags. They put the urn in a really nice bag. It's... If you've ever bought a bottle of Crown Royal, and, that's... If you're Canadian, you know what Crown Royal is. I don't know if Americans know what Crown Royal is. It's rye. But the fancy bottles of Crown Royal used to, I don't know if they still do, used to come in a really nice velvety purple bag. Because it's an expensive alcohol. But that's what these bags remind me of. And she's got extra long ties on it, she said, so it makes it easier because you can just lower it down into the hole. And I thought, oh, you can do that? Because when we planted my dad...
You took her out, took him out.
I took him out of the bag, and just actually, it was kind of deep, so I had to kind of lay down on the ground and reach and get it.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, that's the whole idea.
I guess, but nobody told me at the time. First time, not experienced at doing this kind of a thing. But anyways, so tomorrow 2 o'clock.
Says, yeah, they still do.
What?
The Royal.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay. I kept the bag. I don't know what I did with it. The one that Dad was in.
But
was
then
nice
around
bag.
your mother's other bag, and you have to be double bagged.
double bagged. Well, whatever. So that'll be one weight off my mind, though. I really want to, get this part of it over with and done, and then we sit and we wait until the next stage. And I guess the next stage is not going to be I guess I have to sign whatever the bank is sending to me. And then I wait for the probate stuff. And as I said, 6 to 8 weeks. So who knows? So what are people saying here? You yes, Teresa says, I think the weirdest thing I experienced when my dad passed was a cousin of his asking if he could have dad's hearing aids. Seems as common as they are so many dollars. New owner just gets new ear molds made. Oh, didn't know that. Well, my mother didn't have anything like that.
No.
So I wonder what my sister's been doing with the jewelry. The jewelry. My mother's really expensive jewelry. My mother put specifically in the will that my sister was to have her jewelry. My mother didn't have any really decent jewelry. All of her stuff is pretty much cosmetic. But then my sister's asking me about a gold pocket knife that I think my mother bought for my father one year for Christmas or something. And she wanted to know where it was. She was all in this semi-panic about it. And I said, I don't know.
I mean, you would have thought of that when your mother moved out of the house.
Yeah. And I said, well, I kind of remember that. But I said, it isn't where anything else, like anything else I had of dad's was. And I said, are you sure I didn't give that to William? That's her son. Kind of a thing. Because I know I talked about giving William other stuff. Actually, this just dawned on me, but Lori didn't say anything. I didn't give Dad's wedding ring to William.
I don't know.
See, yeah, there's another thing too. Well, the knife thing I did find. It was in my night table stand. And it was attached to a pocket watch my father had. My father had several cheap pocket watches, but this one had his initials engraved in it. So I think my mother gave that to him one year for Christmas. And I didn't even realize I still had that. And so I said to my sister, yeah, I found the knife and I found the pocket watch. Sent her a picture to it, and it says, here, give both of these to William, because I have my own pocket watch, which there was a time back in the early 80s when you wore a three-piece suit, and they had the little pocket watch pocket in the vest, and so I had a gold pocket watch that was engraved. My parents gave it to me on my 21st birthday, and I still have it, but it sits in a little bell jar on the dresser, because, I mean, one, I don't wear suits anymore, and if I was, I wouldn't be wearing a three-piece. They're not really in fashion anymore. And, carrying around a pocket watch with a fob kind of a thing, no. So anyways, so I told her she can have that. And I got to remember to take that tomorrow, too, to give it to her. But speaking of which, my mother gave me, when my father passed away, his wedding ring, which he never wore that much because my father was an electrical, he was a power line contractor. He climbed hydro poles and things, and they couldn't wear any metal on their hands. And that's why he never wore a watch either. He had a pocket watch, an industrial pocket watch, because, they couldn't take the chance that anything would get caught in the magnetic field or something. It could cause a problem. So he would wear the ring, though, if they went out or whatnot. It was a nice ring. It was a gold band with a solitaire diamond chip or whatever. It wasn't an expensive ring, but, it's all my mother could afford when she got that for him. He never had a wedding ring before. And she said, do you want it? Well, I always kind of liked the ring. So I said, sure. So it didn't fit me. So I took it to the jeweler and I had it sized. And I had it sized for this hand where I have my wedding ring right now. Because I thought I could wear the two of them. Well, no, my fingers aren't that long. And so when they sized it, it would have meant I couldn't wear my wedding band. And the wedding band is more important to me than my father's ring. So I didn't wear it. And I put it in a safe spot. I thought it was a safe spot. And I have no idea where it went. It wasn't where it should have been. And we looked high and low in this house and we have never found it. And I do have a theory. We think our housekeeper that we had, we don't have her anymore. But we had her for many, many, many years when I was working and everything. And she'd occasionally bring in extra help to help her out. Like, usually they were relatives or friends or something who basically were between jobs, or she was trying to help them out by giving them a job. And that was fine. But one of those people was a young lad, and we had replaced our cell phones with new cell phones, and I had put my old cell phone in a drawer down here, actually, right where we're sitting now. There are drawers in front of me, and I'd put it in there. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I went looking for it.
Well, no, what happened was I had my old cell phone, and I
Yeah.
was still using my old cell phone as basically an iPod for when I went to work out. So because I didn't want to use my new phone for that, and I didn't have any wireless headphones at the time. So I was using it. So I went and looked for it to go because I was going to the gym.
That's right. You couldn't find it.
And I couldn't find mine.
Mind you, he does this all the time.
Yeah, I know. I have a tendency to misplace stuff.
Yeah.
But I dug high and low in my drawers, and I could not find it. And I said, I knew where, in this instance, I knew where it was because it's something I was using on a regular basis. And I said, well, I can't find it, and it's not here.
So I figured he just put it somewhere, it'll show up. I said, well, why don't you use mine? Because my old one was the same as his old one.
Yeah.
And I came downstairs, I opened up my desk drawer, and I had put it back into the iPhone box.
That was the new one.
It was for the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put it in that box. So the box was there. I opened the box. It's empty. Now, unlike Walter, I usually know where things are because I put them in the same place all the time on purpose. And it's not there. And
you couldn't find it.
And I could not find it. Nowhere where we're
Now, the funny thing about his iPhone, one of the reasons we got new iPhones at the time, was his went through the washing machine and no longer
I washed
worked.
it. I forgot it was in my pants pocket and I washed it. Yeah. Front-loading washing machines wreak havoc on a cell phone. Don't try it. Don't try this at home. Anyways, okay, so we started putting two and two together. Well, we didn't accuse this young lad of stealing it. We got a phone call from our housekeeper. And apparently, through some way, she discovered that he had lifted it.
No, you contacted her.
Did I contact her? Is
yeah,
that how
you
that
said
worked?
that we're missing our cell phones. And
if one had been missing, we would have said, okay, it's here somewhere. But with both of them missing, it was suspicious. That's right. And I called her up, and we'd had this housekeeper for many, many years. Never had a problem with any of this kind of thing, and she's bonded and everything like that. This just so isn't somebody. This is what she did for a living. She was incorporated, kind of a thing. So I felt a little sheepish about bringing it up, but didn't know. And there was. This young guy was a little bit sketchy. Because I had seen him. He'd been here a couple of times. And so I said to her, well, I didn't think anything was going to come of it, but she did some investigation. And she was so upset about it. He had taken it. He had taken our...
He admitted to taking
He admitted to taking our cell phones. And
with the idea that he was going to take it, and he had some friend supposedly that would try and strip the data out of it, and then return them again.
Then when they came another cleaning day, he probably figured we wouldn't discover that it was missing, and we probably wouldn't have if you hadn't been using the one.
But iPhones aren't easy to strip data.
No. But anyways, there was more to the story we found out later. I said, I felt sorry for the guy. The guy, we got a little history about him. He was basically down and out. He was living in his parents' house, and he owed a lot of money for drugs. He had a problem with drugs. And his parents were trying to help him sort of clean himself up in that, but he was basically on the bony knees of, being kicked out of there and becoming homeless and the whole bit. I felt sorry for the guy. I really did. So she said, he'll return, he'll bring them right back and everything. I said, I don't want to press charges on him, but I do want to talk to him. And so he came over, and I felt so bad for him because he was genuinely remorseful. I don't think he was basically a bad person. I think he was just a young guy who sort of, went off the straight and narrow path, fell in with a bad crowd, and these people wanted their money for drugs, and he was trying to make the money whatever way he could because, well, he was kind of afraid for his own life. This is like sort of something out of a movie. So we talked to him. I kind of did the teacher thing with him and everything. I mean, in a way, I wish we could have helped him out in a way, but he was too far into this. So I don't know whatever happened to him, but he wasn't back again to help her out or anything like that. And she was really, really upset by the whole thing because it was her business, right? And yeah, I think we
did get our cell phones back.
Yeah, we got them back. I mean,
mine still works, but the one Steve had didn't work because it
had gotten washed. But he didn't know that when he ripped it off. But back to the ring, my dad's ring. I'm wondering if he took the ring
or one of her
other sketchies that came through. I don't know. I've never asked her about it because really that's been so long ago now and it's water under the bridge. But it all came back to mind when my sister said, well, you have Dad's ring, don't you? Why? You want that too? Like, geez, Lori. I mean, I would have given it to her if I'd had it for William. He could have had it.
Yeah, but now she brings it up after your mother
I know,
passed
after
away.
all this stuff. So, I don't know. So, anyway, she has my mother's jewelry, and she has to look through it, and I don't have to worry about it. I've still got the Royal Daltons, though.
Yeah.
God, I don't know what I'm going to do with those. Nobody wants Royal Daltons. There was a day and age everybody thought those were like, oh, they're going to be worth money someday. And when they broke the mold on a few of them, she has a few that they don't make anymore. And, they're supposed to just tripled in value. Yeah, not. They don't. Nobody wants them. So what are people saying here? Teresa says they use a Crown Royal bag for Scrabble. Yeah. Teresa, Dad worked in a factory. Same thing about no jewelry. Dad's hands were so big that his ring fit over top of my school ring, which was the chunky style with a stone. I think Grey Cup ring. Okay. And we lost all my son's Wii games to a druggy boyfriend of my niece. I had hired him to build a back step for me. Called my niece, and sure enough, he had pawned them already. Yeah, the worst my maid has done is drank my tequila. Druggies are generously remorseful for getting caught. They will lie to your face. Went through that with Narcotics Anonymous family group when my son was going through his time. Yeah, okay, I know, and I might be a sucker, and I am, but I want to believe that this kid, like, because we didn't press charges, because we were fair to him in the whole bit, that maybe he'll pass, think twice the next time, but maybe not. If he's got a drug addiction, then who knows? I don't know. Sell them on eBay? What, you mean the phones?
Nah, they've been around for a while, and I don't know. I wouldn't get any money for them.
No, nobody wants them.
I mean, they're not current.
Oh, they're way not.
They're
sixes,
iPhone 6s, yeah.
They're 6s, and yeah, no, but well, mine doesn't work. So, and yeah. I don't have mine anymore. I
think I have it.
Oh,
I have it, but it doesn't work.
What'd you do? Go through the garbage and?
No. Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Yeah,
no, you gave it to me after the kid brought it back.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Well, I threw out some other ones that were older than that, which weren't iPhones.
Oh, sell the Royal Daltons, she says.
Oh, the Royal Daltons.
Yeah, but nobody wants them.
Well, actually, I've looked online, and people are selling them for like $30, $25, best offer. I do have pictures of them all. There's quite a few. A couple of boxes full. They're all wrapped up, and that we wrapped them carefully so they wouldn't get broken. They're sitting in a hall closet right now. I have thought of just throwing them up on Kijiji and saying, the best offer, and see what I get. Because, I mean, I don't want them. They're dust collectors. I have 3 Royal Daltons. One is one my grandmother gave me when I graduated from university, when I got my first degree. And it's the Sea Captain one. And that one is mine. And then there were two that belonged to my grandmother that when she passed away, my mother took them. And they're of two old ladies, each of them sitting in a chair. One's making a quilt and one is sewing. I kept those because, they go with the quilts, kind of a thing. So those I have. But all the other ones, the lady with the flower, or the one holding the bonnet as the wind blows through her hair and her skirts, and all those ones, dust collectors. What would you do with those? Yes, Barb, they're the figurines of the ladies. Yeah. And my mother had a big collection of them because on her birthdays and at Christmas, we would usually buy her another one for it because she just loved them. She had the collector's book about them all. And my mother loved them. But, same problem with china settings. Yeah, I sold my mother's china when we moved her out of the apartment in the nursing home. Actually, the person that bought them got a really good deal on it. But I have my own china and I don't use it, So, and in some ways you kind of think, well, you should be hanging on to things like this. But they don't really have a lot of meaning or memories to me. And now that Mom's gone, she's not going to care about the Royal Dalton. So, whatever. But anyway, so that's the latest on the estate. So what are you working on?
Well, I still got to I'm doing my classes still for the shirt. Well, I put up Christmas lights today.
Yes, I haven't looked at them yet.
I should have been working on my shirt. Well, because I got to have it done for my class for next thing. We've got the shirt sewn. I don't have the collar on it yet. Right? I have sleeves.
Ooh.
Sorry, sleeves. I have button band, which is not the same color as the rest of the shirt.
On purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. And so I have the sides sewn up, but I don't have them. I don't have them finished, so I have to do that yet before tomorrow night's class. So tomorrow night we're working on either cuffs or the collar, or both, depending on how much we get done. I did get my sleeves in with the what they call the placket done, and not that it means much for most people, but I'm getting there with it. So I should have somewhat of a finished product maybe tomorrow. I'll have either a collar or have cuffs in. I have this huge urge, because I've done shirts before, to finish it. But I'm kind of waiting for each stage of it to see if there's more techniques.
Is that piping?
Yeah, there's piping on it.
Ooh, fancy.
I have some piping on the back.
You didn't put piping on any of the shirts you made, have you? That's
no. This is new. I haven't done that before, and I have piping on the front. But so I'm learning new stuff. But actually, I found out during my class last week that there was a technique that you can do to help ease the sleeves into your shirt. So I used that technique, the one Brendan showed me. And actually, the sleeves went in a lot easier than they normally do.
So what's different about that?
Well, it's kind of difficult to explain, but
draw a diagram.
Basically, as you're running the before you put the sleeve in, you do a row of edge stitching on the sleeve, but as you're doing the edge stitching, as the fabric is going through your presser foot, you basically have something stiff, or like a ruler or something at the back of the presser foot. And as your fabric is going through, it all bunches up behind the presser foot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it makes like a little wrinkly top to your sleeve, the part that has to be eased in.
Oh, puff sleeves?
And what that does is it automatically gives you kind of an automatic even easing. So that when you pin it in, it's already eased a bit. So it actually made it a lot easier to sew it in.
Yeah. Well, Marilyn says, love the fabric. Actually, that fabric is called City Lights by Northcott. I made a quilt using that fabric.
It's actually quilting cotton, but it is actually very soft feeling. And it feels
it is very
almost,
soft.
it's sort of between a quilting cotton and a flannel, if you were to want to say. It's
It
sort
does
of,
feel like that.
it's sort of a very nice soft texture to it. Actually, I think it's going to be a really comfortable shirt.
I'll look great in it.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah.
Oh, fine.
That's my shirt.
Fine. Be that way. Okay, so that's all you've been working on?
Yeah.
That relates. What do you do with yourself all day? Sitting around staring at your computer screen a lot.
Well, I've been farting around with my investments and stuff like that.
Yeah, day trader here. Yeah,
and
whatever.
Other things.
Oh, other things. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so what have I been working on? Lots of things. Lots and lots of things. Between, you know, banking appointments and lawyer appointments. So, let's see. What's one thing that's going to... Okay, Lone Star class. You know that I'm taking this class because there's Y seams involved, and yes, I know you can do a Lone Star without seams. There's patterns, but I want to learn how to do Y seams. But we didn't have a class this past week because the instructor Sharon, she went on a retreat with her girlfriends. There's a bunch of them. They rent sort of a house or something. They do this on a, you know, twice a year or whatever, and it's a place that's set up for this kind of thing. So you bring your own food. It's just your own, whoever your group of people are. It sounds kind of nice, the setup and everything for it. But anyway, so she didn't have a class this week, which was a good thing because I had to finish my blades, and well, these are not easy. I had to make 8 of these. So this is one of the blades. These will become the Lone Star. And this is all stripped, and you have to match these things, and everything's cut on a 45, so it's biased, so you got to be careful you don't stretch it. Not the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's something that, you know, you just don't do it quick. But I got my homework done, so I'm ready to go, because this week, on Tuesday, we'll be putting these together with some inset triangles and squares, and that's where the Y seams will come in, because you got 3 seams coming to one point, and usually you only have 2 seams to work with. So anyways, I think it's going to be quite nice, kind of bold. That's okay, that's what I was going for. So I've got that. And what else have I been working on? Oh, I finished up the steam engine quilt, as I call it, my fall quilt. I got it onto Lucy, and I'm going to show you a picture of it here. I got it all quilted. Just find it here. Here we go. There it is. So there, actually, that's wrong.
I think you showed it last week.
Maybe I did, but that's the wrong picture. I didn't show the picture when it's with it all being quilted. Well, never mind. It's quilted. It's sitting on the back of a couch and everything. It turned out pretty good, I thought. So anyways, moving on from that. And yeah, the other thing. Okay, go back to us. So I've been working on Christmas projects as well. So on Friday, the group, the Quilter's Way, which Dana is one of the other people who's involved with that. So she knows what I'm about to talk about. Let me go. Where is... I'm just looking from so we can see here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Kim Jameson Hurst, who's the owner, operator, instructor for the Quilter's Way, showed us how to make these cute little placemat, or not placemats, coasters. And my God, these are fast. These take no time at all. It's all done with 5-inch squares, and you just knock them off in no time. Now, she wasn't doing this. This is an upgrade. I decided to put it on my embroidery machine and do this little snowflake outline on top of it. And I made a couple of these to give to Walter's sister and brother-in-law, along with a couple of placemats that use the same colors I'd made, and I think I showed those sometime before. But I also made for my sister a table runner and some fancy napkins, and I thought, these little coasters would look good for that too. So I did the same thing, only using the fabric that I used in her table runner and napkins as well. So I'm very pleased with that. And they're reversible. So you can use both sides. So, yeah, I thought I was done making Christmas stuff, and I just keep making more Christmas stuff. And in fact, why the printers are going right now is because I'm making angels. So, this is one angel. And then this is another angel. And then I made these angels.
You use that as a scoop or something.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, these ones are actually hollow, which I wasn't too impressed. The other ones are more solid. Actually, this one is hollow. Too. This one's not. It's solid. But I've got 3 more different ones. And what I'm going to do is put them all together as a little Christmas I don't know what you call it. Christmas little figurine kind of angels, you know, whatever. How cute! Just so god-awful cute. Yeah.
Why don't you just dig up a few Royal Daltons and stick them in a row?
Hey, there's an idea. Christmas Royal Daltons. Yeah, maybe so.
Put a bow around their neck.
Yeah, right. And then today, we had a little... I belong to the Canadian Male Quilters group on Facebook. And the guy who runs that, he decided that we were going to have a little sew-along today. Anybody that wanted to join in. So there was him and me. There was only 2 of us. But I bought, and I'm going to talk about this in more detail on the Idiot Quilter this week, but I bought the other day when we went and got our haul.
Our haul.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I bought this little ruler or template. It's called the Little Twister. And the way you position it on some fabric that you've already sewn together, it makes this neat little outline. Now, I didn't choose the right colors to really show this off, but I just wanted to see how it worked. So I did. So I created this. It's a little big for...
Actually, you can see them better on the screen.
Yeah, actually, you can. Yeah, you can see the little twisted fans on there. I just used, you know, scrap pieces of fabric to make this. And then I decided to do in the ditch quilting on my machine. I only made one. Here's the back. Actually, I think it turned out pretty nice. It was just to find out how that ruler really worked. And yeah, I'll make a nice little table topper or something. What I'll probably do is put it in my little bag of gifts, potential gifts, you know, host or hostess gifts. You go someplace and, you know, take them something.
Where are we going?
I don't know. No one invites us anywhere. Well, it's COVID. We can't go anywhere. But whatever. I thought it was fun. So that takes us... Okay, what are people saying here? Walter, are you making Steven a shirt for Christmas?
Yeah, I'll be making a shirt for him at some point in time, whether it's technically for Christmas or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be... Hi, Kathleen. Didn't see you coming in. Thanks, Kathleen.
I know that as soon as I'm done this one, I'm going to check how it fits. If it fits decent, I'll make another one. I'll make other ones for myself. If not, I'm going to adjust the size and make other ones. I'll get him to try one on and see how it fits on him. And if I get a good fit on him, I'll do a shirts for him as well, because I'm tired of wearing these store-bought shirts that don't fit really well. So.
Yeah. Glennis says, I enjoy doing twister wall hangings, pumpkin bunny, Christmas wreath. Do you use this little gizmo, this little twister they call it? It's just a little 5-inch piece of plastic, like acrylic, like they make quilting rulers out of, with crosshairs in it. But you put all your blocks, like your 5-inch blocks, you just sew them all together into like rows and put the rows together. And then you put this on there, you line up the lines and you just cut around it, and then you sew those back together. So it's kind of interesting. Teresa says, advertise on Facebook, invite us for dinner and get a free gift. Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, great presents for Lori. Yeah.
The piping is part of this class I'm taking for different options for shirts. And we aren't using a piping foot. We're just using, it's a flat type of piping that we're doing. It's not a corded piping that we're using, because the corded piping based on the guy that's teaching the class adds too much felt to the shirt, which I probably kind of agree with.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, with it. And dude, with that kind of piping, you need a special foot.
Yeah, the corded piping.
Yeah, with that.
We're not using a special foot. We're just using a flat. It's actually a flat piece of fabric that sticks out 1/8 of an inch. So, but it's it's kind of an interesting technique, and I may use it again in the future sometime, just to know that I have to how to do it. Yeah. So,
Glenna says there are 3 different sizes in those rulers. I didn't know that. I'd heard about it before, but when we were up at picking up my batting, which we're about to talk about, I saw it and I picked it up. It was like $15, but it's kind of fun. And I think if I pick my colors right, it could make a really cool quilt with it down the road or whatever. So speaking of this, okay, there is a place called Quilter Sewing, which
I think it's Quilter Quilting. I think
is it Quilter Quilting?
Yeah,
Quilter Quilting. Anyways, I don't think I've ever reviewed those on the Idiot Quilter, but I probably will next week. But anyways, we've dealt with them before on there, but they put batting on sale, like a roll of batting.
Well, what actually started happening with me.
Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you.
Steve was talking about buying more batting or something like that at some point. So there's a company in northern Alberta, or I think in Alberta, or is it BC?
No, I think they're BC.
Okay.
Dinky do.
Yeah.
Dinky don't.
That sometimes have what they call pre-orders for batting or stuff, and then they sell it at a reduced price to what the average price for batting is. So he ordered a big roll of it earlier this year, but one of the complaints was it was a pre-order and it took a long time for it to be sent.
Yeah, it was a pre-order, and it went way past the deadline for it as well. So I called them. That's not working. Oh wait, there it is. I'm just removing some of the user timeout because I don't think that's anybody. First of all, it's got Chinese characters, so
So anyway, so I saw that they had a sale on. I get advertisements from them, and for batting, and I looked at the batting, and then I thought, I wonder if but it was a pre-order, and I thought, well, maybe there's another way to get batting that's as at a reasonable price. So there's actually a batting company somewhere in Calgary or something that sells batting at a decent price. But the problem is for us is you have to get it shipped, in which it costs quite a bit of money to get it shipped. So then I was looking around some more at batting, and somehow Quilter Quilting came up as batting, and they were having a large shipment delivered in November, and they were a reasonable price, and they're within driving distance.
Yeah, they're within driving distance for us.
They were actually a very good price.
Yeah, like $259 for 120-inch 80/20 Hobbs batting, 30-yard roll.
Yeah, so, 120 inches wide, 30-yard roll.
That was better than what Dinky Doo had it on when I did the pre-order with them. Plus, I had to pay shipping on that.
$259 for the roll.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's within driving distance for us, so we could just go pick it up. It's only 30 minutes away.
So I pre-ordered 2 rolls of it. And they said it would be, this was back in October, about the middle of October when we saw this sale. And they said it would be available around November the 15th. Well, sure enough, it was. Not like Dinky Doo. And you just went up and took your order up and picked it up. Well, then we got thinking about it. And when I say we, Walter, think, if they've got more of it, maybe you should get some more of it. And I thought about it. I probably won't get it for that kind of price for quite a while again, if ever. So I called them up to say we were coming to pick up the 2 that we had already pre-ordered and I'd already paid for it. And I said, by any chance, do you have more of it? And she says, yeah, we have some. I'll have to check on how much. I said, well, if you do, I'd like 2 more rolls. of it. So we get up there, and yes, they had 2 more rolls, so I got that. And then while I was there, they have a good selection of wide backing, 120-inch wide backing, and they charge about, it works out on average, depends on which you buy. It ranges in between about $28, $32 a meter, and I usually buy 3 meters of wide backing. So I bought 12 meters. I bought four different fabrics, 3 meters a piece. So you start doing the math there. And then they sold pantographs. I didn't even think about that, which are paper scrolls basically that you use on your long arm, and you use your laser light to trace them out. And that's how I've been quilting a lot of things right now with those, and I want it more. And there is a place, I can get some from Whirls and Swirls here in town, but she doesn't have that great a selection. And I can get them online from a company in the States called Urban Elements, and they have like hundreds. In fact, that's where Whirls and Swirls gets hers. But, you know, you have to pay shipping for all that. So they had a good selection here at Fourth Quilting. So I picked up about 4 of those. And then I wanted some more glide thread, which is the thread I use for quilting. And they have a good selection. Tracy does too, Whirls and Swirls, but we were there. But they had these pre-made up plastic boxes of 10 spools in them, and they had them set up by the seasons. They had a box called spring, one for summer, fall, winter. I think I bought the winter one because I didn't like the colors in the other. But then they had ones by month. Something must have been something they've done. Well, you got 10 spools of thread for $63.99. Usually the thread costs $6.99 a spool, so you saved a little bit of money, but you got the plastic box too. So I bought 2 plastic boxes. Okay, so how much do you think I spent? 2 more rolls of batting, 12 meters of wide back fabric, 4 pantographs, 20 spools of thread. Oh, and the little twister template on that. Anybody want to make a guess? What do you think? What do you think? And I'm going to show you what this looks like. Go to screen. Oops, screen. Oh, that is us on the screen. And there's what I bought. 4 rolls of batting, but 2 of them already paid for. There are the little boxes with 10 spools of thread in each one. There's the 4 pantographs. There's the little twister. And these are the 4 3-meter...
30-yard.
3-meter backing fabrics.
Okay.
All right, talked about. Hello? Anybody home? With that. Any guesses? $14.85, Susan says. Teresa says 2.5K. Andy says 1,000 Canadian. Marilyn says 1,500. Barb says 1,000. Well, $1,254 and some odd cents. That includes the tax.
That's only for 2 rolls. Though.
That's only 2 rolls of that. If you add the other 2 rolls, but I'd already paid for them, that was another 500.
Yeah.
So 17. So what you're seeing in front of you right there on the screen right now is about $1,700 Canadian. Yeah, there goes my fabric budget. Actually, not really, but I've been saving up for it. But you know, it felt good.
Well, you won't be buying batting for a long time.
No, I have lots of it. Then I had to store it. Well, believe it or not, I also have half a roll of this size still of batting that I'd bought from Dinky Doo back in the spring or late spring. So I was able to get all 4 of these underneath my long arm, and the Dinky Doo one that's half a roll is sitting up in a corner. So I got those all in that room. So I won't run out of batting anytime real soon, but it's a good price, and you got to have batting if you're going to quilt, right? So that's what I've done. So anyways, let's go back to us.
So it works out to about $9.50 a meter.
Yeah.
For the Hobbs, so was 60-20?
No, 80-20.
80-20.
60 and 20 equals
Yeah,
80.
yeah,
80, 20 equals 100. You're not good at math at times, are you? Anyways, yep. So it was retail therapy. And yeah, I'm happy I've got it. Okay, so I saw Andy, I think it was you, or was it, Andy asking about Craft and Chat. Yes, we're coming up to December the 1st will be the next Craft and Chat. That's 1 week from this coming Wednesday. Boy, where did November go? It just flew by. So yes, I will have this week in everything I put up on YouTube. There will be a link to the Zoom there for it. Those of you that have given me your email address as well, I will send you a special invitation just for you. Well, it's the same link, but I'm telling you, you're special on that. So all are welcome. So if you've never been to a Craft and Chat, do come if you're available. It's during the day, Wednesday, December the 1st, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are on until about 4 p.m., but you can come and go as you please. So yes, Andy, there is a Craft and Chat. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. Oh, what's your name, new viewer? I blocked you only because I never seen you before, and okay. If you're legit, then fine. I'll leave you. I'll give you a chance. That's okay, because, sometimes you see people that you don't know, and we've run into that problem. Ask Jeannie. She knows all about it. Yeah, Dana says, second mortgage on your house? Nope. Don't have a first mortgage. So, never mind.
Yeah, we'd have to have a first mortgage.
We'd have to have a first mortgage, that, yeah. Yeah, Patsy, storage would be my main problem. Yep. Jeannie says, I buy my batting by the roll, too. I just get one at a time. Yeah, well, that's what
normally we would have, but
the price was too good to
just turn away. So actually, it was kind of interesting because this Quilter Quilting used to be in a town called Millbrook, and then they moved to another town called Bethany. And in this new town, or this other place, there used to be a quilt store where they were located, but went out of business. And so they bought this store, but what's attached to the store is an old church.
And
right?
that's where
they're using the old church as storage for all their batting.
And oh my God, I walked into the church, and there's nothing in the church except batting. And the batting was on 3 out of 4 walls. And I don't know how deep it was, but they went right up to the ceiling, and the ceiling, of course, is vaulted. I could do you have batting? Yes, you have batting. Holy crap. So, yeah. I'm M, just one letter. I'm from Taiwan. Found your channel a few days. Okay, welcome, M. Sorry that I blocked you. It was just a safeguard because I'd had a couple of bad experience over time. But,
people come in and say nasty comments
and things like
there, and so
you are more than welcome to be here, M. I'm glad, and all the way from Taiwan. So that's great. I'm glad you found us. Glenna says, I'm retiring at the end of December and hope to join Craft and Chat in January. Well, that'll be great, Glenna, and there will be a Craft and Chat in January. So we always have a good time on it. And I was going to ask you, Andy, what you meant by CNC, and then I figured out Craft and Chat. Yeah, CNC. I never thought of that. Andy says, that's almost a year's worth of food for me. Well, yeah, but, I can live without food, but I can't live without quilting. I need batting.
Probably about a year's worth of our food, too.
Yeah, pretty much. Teresa says, when the border was open, I got batting when Joanne's would have it on half price and ship it to my aunt. She brings it the next time they came up to visit the family. There's a good idea.
Yeah, you can there's also something, Teresa, called cross-border.
It's a system you pay.
Yeah.
You pay $10 or something, and
cross-border shipping, I think it's.
And
called.
they give you an American, for us Canadians, they give you an American post office address, and they go across the border, pick it up, bring it back, and you pick it up from them, or you can pay to have them delivered.
The only thing is you still have to pay your duties and stuff like that, and you can pick it up from them, and they charge you based on weight of what you're getting. So it's anywhere from $10 to $20 or $30 that you might have to pick it up from.
Yeah.
But it's an option.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if there's some places in the United States that will only ship items to the continental United States and won't ship it to Canada. So it's an option for if you're deciding to purchase, if you need to purchase something from a company that won't ship to Canada. So,
shoot, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, so there's something here I want to show you, and I just remembered it, and I'm trying to find it now. Here. So we were talking about Christmas. So last night while we were watching TV, one of my relatives, my second cousin's wife, had found this old picture that was the cover, or was a Christmas card my parents, the one and only year my parents decided to do personalized Christmas cards. And it was way back in the 60s. And it's a picture of my brother and I. My sister wasn't even in existence at that point in time. Okay, why can't I find it? I thought I stuck it in here. Okay, just bear with me for a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, it's obviously not in there. Oh, I know why, because it's under here. Okay, I've got it here. Anyways, it's a cute picture, and I think it was taken in about 1962 or 1963. So I'm going to throw it up here on the screen for you in just a second. And here we go. There we are. So, that's me in the plaid. Some things never change. And that's my little brother, the brother that's 60 years old that lives out in BC right now. I always told people that was the year my brother stopped being cute. I think he's about 2 years old in that picture, and I'm probably, if it's 1962, I'd be about 5. I think it was my first year of school, kindergarten, I think. We had just moved to this house in Coburg. Anybody who comes from this area would know where I'm talking about. But I don't even know what happened to that dog. I don't know if that was mine or my brother's. But anyways, wasn't I cute? My brother has a weird shaped head. It's an alien. But anyways, I just thought I'd share that because, you know, why not? There I go back to us. There we go. So, okay, so anyways, yeah, some people may say that's when I stopped being cute too. I don't know. But anyways, of course, Walter's been very quiet about the whole thing. I've seen pictures of him in a diaper dragging your ass like a dog across a carpet floor because apparently you didn't learn how to crawl properly.
The lady, the M, says that she thanks everyone. I don't know much about quilting, but I'm learning sewing garments.
Well, actually, M, this is, we're not really a sewing channel. I do have one. It's called The Idiot Quilter. You might want to check that out. We do have something called So Chatty where we talk about things related to sewing. It's our hobby. Walter's a garment maker. I'm a quilter with it. But we talk about everything on here.
Actually, a while back, Laura Waldy was asking about 3D printer. I forgot that was up there.
Oh,
if you scroll back a bit.
What was Laura asking? And what, you had dark hair back then? Yes, I did. But I haven't seen dark hair.
She says there it is right there, and where your arrow is. Here, that one.
Oh, what? Stephen, I'm toying with the idea of getting a small 3D printer. Have you any regrets or misgivings in getting yours? If you were starting again, what would you do differently? First of all, if you want a reasonably good printer for a reasonable price for like around, well, for Americans, it would be under $300 and you can get it right off Amazon. It's the ones I use. The Creality Ender 3 version 2. You do have to put them together. They are not plug and play, and you will have a learning curve.
Yeah, and be prepared. There's not, it's not something you can just plug in and use.
Yeah.
Because you have to, there's a learning curve. You have to level the beds.
Yeah. Leveling the bed
there's
is the
parts
hardest
that
thing.
you might have to replace on them.
Well, I've replaced
And,
pretty much everything on mine.
And yeah, so it's not just something you can just sort of like, it's not like a sewing machine where you can plug it in and expect it to sew.
Yeah.
Right? They're a little fiddly.
There's assembly required, because it comes to you in pieces. It isn't hard to do it. Now that I've done 2 already, I'm used to it. But there are plenty of YouTube videos that are very, very good.
Not only that, you have to be computer literate.
Yes, you need to be computer literate with it as well, because there is software that comes with it that is called a slicer. Once you get over the hurdle of all of that, you'll be fine. But be prepared for frustration. Like, I show you what I've created. What I haven't shown you is my mistakes. There are times when the printer it doesn't want to cooperate, and there are many factors why for that. I'm pretty good with it now. What would I do different? Nothing.
I don't think there's a lot you can do different,
No.
because these things nowadays, even I don't think there are very few available where you can actually just plug it in and expect it to do it.
Yeah, no, they're all like that. And some of them, like you can spend thousands on a 3D printer. That doesn't mean it's going to be any better than a cheaper one. It just means that they're a little bigger. They might be able to do things like they have what they call extruders, which is what the plastic goes through. They might have a dual extruder, which means you could use 2 colors. But there is a learning curve. So you're pretty okay. If you're pretty computer savvy, then that part of it you probably won't have any problem with. And there are tons and tons of freebies out there in
Free videos telling you what to do. And
yeah, that's not what I was going to say, but thank you for cutting me off
What?
With it. There are plenty of freebie models, they call them. This is a model, okay? That's what they call it. And you download these, they're STL files, which I'm not sure what that stands for. Then you have to put it through the program. Cura is the name of the program that comes with Corelity ones. There are different ones available, but Corelity is probably the one that's very, very popular, and it's probably the easiest to use. And it slices it, which means it creates a computer program that can be read by the printer so it knows how to print this. And those are fairly easy to use. There's a lot of features on them where you can fiddle around with different things. And I'm only now getting into where I play with some of the settings and that because I know more. But as long as you are patient and you like to play, then go for it. But you will get frustrated at times. So I would suggest the Corelity Ender 3 version 2 because it's very popular. It's the least expensive ones, and it's a great one to, cut your teeth on, I think, as a beginner. I have 3 of them now, and they're all Corelities. I do have an original Corelity. That's the one that someone gave to me.
It's a version 1 one.
It's the version 1 one because he couldn't get it to level and everything, and I figured out why, because he hadn't tightened up most of the bolts in it, right? But that was because I had experience. And I have basically rebuilt all 3 printers because things do go. Nozzles go on them. Your fans might go. Buying parts for them you can get on Amazon. They're fairly inexpensive, but you gotta figure out, and YouTube's great. YouTube will show you how to replace certain parts and everything. So, if you like to play around with things like this, then yeah, go for it. Okay, what else have we got up here? So, the main topic today, which we never ever get to, is in my title, Shop Until You Drop from COVID. I don't know. What are people doing as far as getting their Christmas shopping done? Are you going to buy a lot of stuff online? I'm still doing that. I'm buying all my stuff online. I'm not going to put myself out there into a shopping mall with all of the the nut jobs out there. And our government isn't helping us with any of this because they're letting people run amok. I know businesses need the business, and this is the time of year when they make the majority of their money to see them through the year. I get that. But I'm still not willing to go out there and, hobnob it with the general public. I'm not a shopper anyways, unless it's for something I really know I want to get. So I'm sticking to online.
Laura's asking about replacement parts.
Yeah, you can get them in Canada. Amazon.ca is the best place to go for it. But there are businesses here like Printing 3D Canada or something it's called, Matter 3D. But you can get everything that you need right on Amazon.ca, including the printer. I've noticed Kathleen says quite a few things in Etsy quilt shops with 3D printed extras like thimble cup for holding tools, a cute scrap bucket, I use rotary blade, thread cutter, etc. Yep, I've made quite a few different things for quilting and sewing with my 3D printer. In fact, well, I've shown it before, but I've got this giant thimble that I use as a scrap pail. I blew it up. Walter's grabbing it to show you, but I'm sure I've shown it before. And I think... actually, it's full of scraps right now, but it's a giant thimble. I printed that. Now, mind you, that's the other thing you got to watch for too, Laura. Printing takes days on some things. Like this one took a day and a half to print, and I mean like all through the night and stuff like that. The things I'm printing right now, most of these won't be done until sometime late tomorrow morning. What else is here? Patsy says giving money, yeah. Buying online only. Teresa, I'm mostly adding something to my cart every time I go to Costco weekly. The rest will be online. Kathleen did both. I try to buy local if they have a web store. Yeah. Jeannie says, I either made stuff or got it online. I finished my sewing thanks to your retreat. Yeah, I've made a lot of things too as gifts as well. Online and homemade gift giving, Glenna says. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I've made gifts using my 3D printer as well. So we don't give a lot of gifts. I mean, I don't know.
Well, actually, I don't have, I just have my sister and her family. And the last few years, I haven't given any gifts to them. And so it's just between Steve and I, and we're not big gift givers to each other these days.
Well, because anytime we need anything, we usually buy it for ourselves or whatever, kind of thing. But having said that, I have bought Walter some Christmas presents.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
You better not be looking through any. I've got them hidden. But you're a snoopy, nosy person, so don't be looking. What's that? Barb says, I told family members to put things on a wish list for Amazon. I'll pick from there. That's a good idea. And Laura says, there are the kind of items I want to print. Good to know how long it takes. Yeah. When you first do the printing, Laura, and you see something that's going to take you a day, I think one of my longest prints was 4 days, 5 days. I mean, 5 days as in 24 hours in a day. And the worst part is you get to that last hour and something goes awry and you go, oh, shit. And of course you have to buy filament. And filament, depending on how you look at it, can be expensive. I usually pay on average, and I get it from Amazon as well, about $30 for a kilogram. That's a reel. But it's surprising how far a reel goes. You can get a lot of prints out of a reel of filament. I have cupboards full of filament because I like colors. So, yeah, it's a fun hobby once you get into it. So I guess I think our numbers are going up in our cases of COVID again. And a lot of it's coming from the schools, and we've talked about that many, many times over. What I'm afraid of is that this year, because last year Christmas was really weird, that this year people are going to think, well, I've been double vaxxed or whatever, it won't be as bad. We'll be okay. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about possibly having people here too. They're all double vaxxed as well that we're having here, but I don't know. I'm still a little iffy about it. I want to, because, oh my God, it's Christmas kind of a thing, you know, and it'd be nice to get back to normal, but we don't have normal yet. So I don't know, but I'm definitely not going to the shopping mall. Not happening. No. So anyways, so anything else? We finished watching on the Disney Channel, Murders in the Building. That was quite good.
I think somebody here
suggested it, yeah. And I really liked it. It was good. And it looks like they're going to have a second season the way that they ended it. Yes, and I've been watching Yellowstone because I know a few of you watch Yellowstone as well. Of course, I love Yellowstone. Walter doesn't watch it. He's never watched it, so, but it's good. Andy says, I got an invitation for Thanksgiving this year. Oh, that's right. This Thursday is American Thanksgiving, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I'm too scared to venture out. Yeah, I know. I was thinking this time last year, we're thinking, okay, it's only 1 year. Christmas will be fine. This time next year, we're not fine. No.
Yeah, actually, I haven't been in a shopping mall in a long time. No. I used to go all the time to the one that was located right next to where I worked. But that was usually to grab a coffee or something like that. And but ever since I stopped working, I haven't really been in a shopping mall.
No, that's what I mean. When we went for this little, what I called the hall shopping with all that batting and everything, retail therapy.
Yeah, we've watched.
Oh yeah, we've seen all the seasons of that so far. Yeah, I love Grace and Frankie. Yeah, and there's some new shows coming up that look interesting too.
I've been watching one called Dope Sick.
Oh yeah, but that's more of a documentary.
That's more sort of. It's about the addictive people getting how OxyContin got started and how it ended up getting people addicted to it. So it's been kind of interesting.
Actually, one I like on YouTube is Tony, and I did review this on my vlog this past week. But if you like sort of history, Tony Robinson has a channel, and he's British, and it's with the BBC, and he's got a whole bunch of different series that, like, he's got one that we've been watching about Australia, because you know how we love Australia. But there's other ones too about all kinds of different things. Time travelers, one of his series he talks about. And we just saw one, I was watching it last night. So her name's Lucy something, another one BBC. But she was talking about rooms in the house and how they've evolved over the centuries. And it's kind of interesting. She talks about the living room. She talked about the bathroom. Those were the two we watched last night. There's still the bedroom, and I'm not sure. Oh, the kitchen. And she goes through the different centuries and that kind of thing. It's really kind of interesting. That kind of thing appeals to me on there. So, you know, YouTube has got a lot of shows that have been seen on regular TV kind of a thing, like from the BBC and things like that, that are quite good. So, you know, YouTube is good. I love YouTube. I don't love the fact that they take tax off me now when I make.
And they have a million commercials.
And they have a million commercials again, but whatever. Teresa says, Oxy is how my son got hooked. He had some minor toe surgery and the rest is history. Thank God he's been clean now for over 2 years. Well, that's good, Teresa. Yeah, those things are quite dangerous in the pharmaceutical company. Well, anyways, I think it's time for us to go. That's our hour and a half, our 90 minutes of sheer entertainment and fun for us. So thanks everybody for joining us, and watch for my vlog and for the Idiot Quilter and so Chatty this coming week. And then, of course, next week, another Stephen and Walter Live. So I hope to see you all then and more. And advance notice about Craft and Chat, December the 1st, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All are welcome. And yeah, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.
Bye, all.